Okay, so have you ever thought about like what success really means? Like beyond money and fame.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, today we're going to deep dive into exactly that. We've got some sources that really dig into this idea that true success is about something much deeper. It's about, personal fulfillment and growth and making a positive impact.
Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it, how we often think, oh, if I just get this much money or if I just get this level of recognition, that's going to equal happiness. But the sources we've got kind of challenge that.
It really is like we're almost programmed to chase those external markers of success, right?
Right.
But we don't stop and ask ourselves what actually makes us feel successful, what brings us like a sense of joy and accomplishment.
Yeah, totally. And that's where this whole idea of personal fulfillment comes in, right? I think that's so key. And our sources really hit on that. They're saying that real success is about aligning your definition of success with your own values and what you want to do in life.
So it's not about trying to fit into someone else's idea of success.
No, definitely not.
It's about creating a life that feels like, authentic.
Totally. Yeah. Authentic and meaningful for you.
Yeah.
And one of the sources actually had a great example. Like, imagine someone who dedicates their life to raising a family or like pouring their heart into a passion project.
Right.
So these might not lead to tons of money or tons of recognition, but they can give you a deep sense of satisfaction and purpose.
Yeah, for sure. It's that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be kind of feeling.
Yes, exactly. And that comes from a real sense of purpose.
Yeah.
It's about finding things that light you up, that make you feel alive. It's intrinsic motivation. You're doing it because you love it, not because of some external reward.
I feel like I've definitely gone through that myself. In my own life, I used to think hitting those milestones in my career was success, but now I think it's those moments of connection or creativity or just growing as a person. Oh, those are the things that really stick with me.
That's such a good point, and it's a great example because really how we define success can change, can't it? As we have more experiences and we learn more things. And the key is to be open to that, just constantly check in with yourself and make sure you're still on a path that fits with what you value.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. So it sounds like we're moving away from this idea that success equals achievement.
Right.
So what does that mean when it comes to like how we go after our goals and face challenges?
That's where the whole growth mindset thing comes in. Our sources talk about how true success isn't about reaching some perfect final state. It's more about like always learning and developing.
So it's more about progress than perfection.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's seeing those challenges as opportunities to grow, seeing setbacks as chances to learn, and basically seeing effort as the key to reaching your full potential.
So like instead of getting bummed out by mistakes, we should see them as what? Stepping stones to get better.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. And actually, research backs that up. People with a growth mindset, they tend to be more resilient, more adaptable, and more successful in the long run.
It's like learning an instrument or a language or anything, really.
Yeah.
The fun is in getting better little by little. You push yourself, you see yourself grow over time.
Yeah, and you got to celebrate those small wins.
Well, for sure.
Any progress you make, even if it seems tiny.
Yeah, it's like you're training your brain to find the satisfaction in the journey itself, not just the end result.
Exactly. And once you shift your thinking like that, it can be so freeing. It takes away the pressure of trying to be perfect all the time.
Right.
And you can just enjoy the process of, just becoming the best version of yourself,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think about how I approach my own goals now. Maybe instead of getting so focused on the finish line, I need to chill out a bit and enjoy the learning process.
That's a great insight. And it actually leads us to another big point from the sources, which is this idea of connection and contributing. They're saying that true success isn't usually a solo thing.
Okay, so it's about the relationships we build, the impact we have on others, like leaving a positive legacy. So are we talking about things like mentoring or volunteering or just being there for our loved ones?
Exactly. Those acts of service, no matter how big or small, can give our lives so much purpose and meaning. It's about connecting to something bigger than ourselves. And it creates like a ripple effect, spreading that positivity way beyond our immediate circle.
Yeah, that's a really powerful thought. And it's interesting that our sources emphasize that contributing doesn't have to be some huge attention-grabbing thing. Even little acts of kindness can make a real difference.
Yeah, definitely. And here's a cool thing. Research shows that helping others is actually linked to being happier and having a better sense of well-being. Like, we're wired to thrive when we're part of something bigger than ourselves.
So it's not just about our personal achievements, but also about how we make the world around us a better place.
Exactly. And that brings us to this idea of redefining success for lasting happiness.
Okay, now we're talking. Let's break that down a bit. How do our sources say we should redefine success to actually find lasting happiness?
Well, they're saying that true success isn't about those external markers like being rich or famous. It's about finding joy in your everyday life, having a sense of purpose, and just growing as a person.
So basically, it's about aligning your actions with your values, doing things you're passionate about, and making a difference. But how do we actually do that?
That is the question, isn't it? And our sources do have some really good insights on that. But before we get into those, there's one more thing we should touch on about redefining success. It's about letting go of comparison. That's something the sources really emphasize. They say comparing ourselves to others can actually really mess with how we feel about our own successes.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like, when you're scrolling through social media and you see everyone's highlight reels,
Oh, yeah.
it's hard not to start questioning your own path.
Exactly. And it's so easy to fall into that trap because then you start focusing on things that might not even be that important to you.
Right.
You end up chasing validation from other people instead of doing what really makes you happy.
It's like trying to keep up with the Joneses. Right.
Yeah,
Who cares what they're doing?
totally. Instead, we should be focusing on what success means to us personally.
So how do we, escape that comparison trap? It feels like it's everywhere.
Well, our sources have this really cool idea. They talk about gratitude.
Okay.
Basically, instead of focusing on what we don't have, we should appreciate what we do have. Focus on the good stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It helps you feel more content and less likely to compare yourself to others.
It's like that saying, gratitude turns what we have into enough.
Exactly. And I think when you come from a place of gratitude, you don't feel as envious or not good enough. You can actually be happy for other people's successes.
It's about realizing that everyone's journey is different.
Yeah.
There's no one right way to be successful.
Exactly. We all have different strengths and passions, and being successful means embracing those and creating a life that feels authentically you.
I love that. It sounds great, but let's be real. Redefining success like that, letting go of comparison, it can be tough.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of pressure from society
Totally.
to do things a certain way. And it can be hard to stick to your own definition of success when you're surrounded by all that.
Absolutely. It takes effort, to challenge those norms. It's like we're swimming upstream.
So how do we deal with that?
Yeah.
How do we stay true to ourselves when everyone's telling us to do something different?
Well, our sources have a few ideas.
Okay.
First, surround yourself with people who get it,
Okay, so find your tribe,
Yeah, people who support your vision, your values.
who encourage you to go after what you want, even if it's different.
Exactly. And second, you got to celebrate your wins.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
Even the small ones.
Yeah.
Because that helps you feel confident and keeps you going.
Instead of waiting for someone else to tell us we're doing great, we need to tell ourselves.
Yeah. Acknowledge your progress. Give yourself credit for your hard work.
So,
And the last thing is remember that redefining success is a journey, not a destination.
okay, so we need to be flexible because what we consider successful might change over time.
Right. As we grow and learn, our definition of success might change too. And that's okay.
I like that. It's about being free to define success on your own terms.
Exactly. So, to bring it back to our listeners,
Yeah,
why should they care about all this? How will it change their lives?
that's a great question. What's the takeaway for our listeners?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that it can make you so much happier.
Oh, for sure.
When you let go of those old ideas about what it means to be successful, you can finally go after what truly matters to you.
Yeah, you can have more joy, more purpose, more meaning in your life.
Exactly. It's like breaking free from those expectations that society puts on us. You don't have to be rich or famous to be successful.
Right.
You can just create a life that reflects what you value and what you're passionate about.
This has been a really insightful look at what it means to be successful. As we wrap up this deep dive, is there one final thought, something to really make our listeners think, something they can take away and consider on their own?
Well, I would ask, what's one small step you can take today to move towards a life that feels more successful to you? What's one thing you can do to make your life feel more fulfilling?
I love that. It doesn't have to be this huge change, right?
No, not at
Just
all.
one little thing that gets you closer to that vision of success you're building for yourself.
Yeah, maybe it's starting that passion project you've been putting off, or maybe just taking some time to, think about what's really important to you.
It could even be just thanking someone who's made a positive impact on you.
Exactly. The important thing is to just take that first step, even if it's small, and then just keep going one step at a time.
Because, like you said, it's a journey.
Yes.
It's about making those choices every day that fit with what really matters to you.
And as you go on that journey, remember to be patient with yourself. It takes time to unlearn those old habits of needing validation from other people and to really embrace this new definition of success that's all about you.
This has been such a great conversation. It's given me a totally new way to think about success.
I'm so glad. Remember, true success isn't about fitting into some mold. It's about making your life something that truly feels like you, something that brings you joy and purpose and a feeling of being fulfilled.
So keep exploring, keep growing, and keep defining success in your own way. Until next time.